Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tearing apart a concept you thought you knew: ambush. It's not just about military tactics, you know? Our sources reveal it's this kind of hidden force in our relationships, our workplaces, maybe even our own minds.
Yeah.
Get ready to see the world a bit differently.
What's truly fascinating, I think, is how this term ambush, it just stretches so far beyond the battlefield.
Right.
Our study shows it's a pervasive strategy, surprise, manipulation in nearly all human interactions.
Yeah, right.
And understanding it is, frankly, crucial for navigating our complex world.
So this deep dive is based on a really groundbreaking AI-driven scientific study, Deconstructing Human Ambush. It uses a multidisciplinary approach to truly get at this complex human behavior.
Exactly. A lot of different angles.
And our mission today is to pull out the most important insights from this research, help you quickly get informed on something that's, well, surprisingly relevant to your everyday life. So when you first heard human ambush, what came to your mind initially?
Well, like you said, the military aspect jumps out first.
Yeah, when most of us think of an ambush, we immediately picture that military scenario, right?
Right.
A surprise attack from a concealed position, designed to take down an opponent or gain a strategic edge. It's all about surprise, staying hidden, and the intent to inflict harm. That's the traditional view.
Precisely. Yeah. But our research really kind of expands on that quite a bit. Think about what we started calling an emotional ambush.
Emotional ambush. Okay.
Yeah. This is when someone delivers a statement, could be harsh criticism, maybe sarcasm specifically designed to just suddenly flood you with negative emotions.
Yeah.
And your body reacts instantly. Nervousness, a surge of cortisol, that's our main stress hormone. It puts you on an edge immediately, and it impacts your long-term well-being.
Yeah.
The person doing it. They become an emotional threat.
Okay, I can see that.
And then there's strategic deception. The study gets into interpersonal deception theory.
IDT, right.
Yeah. It shows deception isn't just a one-sided lie. It's more like an intricate dance between the deceiver and the target.
A dance. How so?
Well, deceivers actively manage information, their behavior, even their public image. They use tactics like holding back the full truth. Reticence, they call it.
Okay.
Or being vague, uncertain in their language, creating distance from their messages, non-immediacy.
Right. Sort of deflecting.
Exactly. And what's particularly revealing is that people consistently overestimate their ability to spot this stuff. We think we're better detectors than we are.
That's worrying. So the common thread then across all these types, military, emotional, deceptive, it's always that core element of surprise, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's the key.
The target is left with basically no time to react or defend themselves. And their unpreparedness, maybe their vulnerability, it's just completely exploited.
Exactly. And this unified understanding of ambush as this strategic act of surprise and exploitation, whatever the means that's vital for AI.
Okay, how does AI fit in here?
Well, for artificial intelligence to truly detect, analyze, maybe even help us mitigate ambush.
Yeah.
Whether it's in cybersecurity, where deception is everywhere.
Right, phishing and all that.
Exactly. Or in mental health, where these emotional ambushes can cause real harm.
Yeah.
AI absolutely has to account for this diverse nature. It needs that multimodal view.
Okay, so we've defined it. It's broader than we thought. Now, let's get into the why. Why is this behavior so deeply ingrained in us? Where does this drive to ambush even come from? What are its roots in our, deep past?
This is where the evolutionary foundations really come into play. Aggressive behavior. We often see it as destructive, right?
Sure.
But it's actually part of our fundamental human makeup. It evolved because, well, it could directly increase an individual's chances of survival or reproduction, helping them gain access to valuable resources or protect themselves. And we see biological underpinnings for this. Specific brain regions like the amygdala for fear and aggression, and others like the prefrontal cortex helping to inhibit those impulses. The MAOA gene is sometimes mentioned too.
So it's biological?
Partly, yes.
Yeah.
And self-preservation, that inherent drive to survive, that's huge too. It manifests as the fight, flight, freeze response when we face a threat.
The classic response.
Right. Involving rapid physiological changes, adrenaline, cortisol release, increased heart rate. These responses were absolutely critical for early human survival against literal predators, hostile groups.
Makes sense back then.
Totally. You can almost view early human-to-human interactions through a predator-prey dynamic sometimes. We were predators in our own food web. And this led to evolutionary arms races, co-evolution of ambush tactics and counter-ambush tactics.
An arms race. Interesting.
But here's the real insight, this sort of modern maladaptation, as the study calls it.
Maladaptation.
Yeah. Our ancient survival mechanisms, the fight, flight, freeze that saved us back then, now they get triggered by traffic jams, job interviews, public speaking.
Things that aren't life-threatening.
Exactly. It's a fundamental mismatch between our biology and our modern world, leading to chronic stress and anxiety.
Okay, I see the problem.
And this is where AI could potentially play a crucial role, identifying individuals at risk, maybe through biometric data, or developing personalized interventions, stress management apps, biofeedback systems, helping us manage these ancient responses in modern life.
That's a fascinating look at our biology, the why. But it's also crucial to see how this actually played out in history, right? Because those ancient patterns, they must still echo today.
Oh, definitely.
So what's the earliest actual evidence of humans using ambush tactics against each other?
The historical record is pretty clear on this. One of the earliest known examples dates back, well, about 17,000 years.
17,000? Wow.
Yeah, late Epigravetian period, northern Italy. There's a skeleton, they call him Tagliente I.
Okay.
Showed fatal wounds from flint-tipped projectiles. It really suggests a planned surprise attack.
How could they tell?
The injuries indicated he might have been running, or maybe surrounded. It was likely competition over resources, territory, as the glaciers were melting.
Makes sense. A tough time.
Definitely. But what's also striking is, despite this violent death, Tagliente I received a dignified burial.
Really?
Yeah, which hints at, early social or moral codes, even amidst violence.
Interesting complexity there.
And ambush tactics just continued. They became a staple in ancient warfare. Think of Hannibal.
The elephants guy.
Well, yeah, but his strategic genius, the Battle of the Trebia River, he famously concealed forces to just decimate the Romans in an ambush.
Ah, okay. Classic move.
And it persists through medieval times. Mongol massacres involved ambushes right into modern conflicts.
20th century, too.
Absolutely. Large-scale military ambushes, but also small, irregular bands. Even Native American tribes often used ambush tactics to compensate for disadvantages in numbers or tech.
Right, leveling the playing field.
Exactly. It underscores the universality, the adaptability of ambush over millennia. The core principles haven't really changed. Surprise, concealment, exploiting vulnerability.
Still the same game plan.
Pretty much. And AI can actually leverage this vast historical data, identify recurring patterns, maybe inform contemporary conflict resolution efforts.
Wow. So it's been with us from literally the Stone Age. You've laid out the historical patterns, which is amazing. But for me, the really fascinating part is still why. What's happening inside our minds that makes us both the ambusher and the ambushed?
Indeed. And deception is just fundamental here.
Deception again.
It's a strategic activity, right? Designed to manage information, behavior, image. We talked about holding back truth, being vague.
Right. Reticence and non-immediacy.
Exactly. And while it takes mental effort for the deceiver, the key thing is humans consistently overestimate their ability to detect it.
We think we're good lie detectors, but we're not.
Often no. And what's truly fascinating psychologically is self-deception.
Lying to ourselves.
Essentially, yes. Our brain tricks itself into believing the lie. Why? Well, it helps perpetrators avoid giving off subconscious cues of deception.
Ah, so they seem more genuine.
Precisely. And it eliminates that costly mental load of consciously maintaining a lie. Deceiving yourself makes you a more convincing deceiver of others. It's theorized to have evolved for that very reason.
Kind of disturbing.
It is complex. And our susceptibility to being ambushed is also amplified by our own minds, by what psychologists call cognitive biases.
Biases? Like what?
These are like built-in shortcuts in our thinking. They often lead to irrational decisions or beliefs distorted by, say, wishful thinking.
Okay, give me an example.
Well, there's anchoring bias, where we rely too heavily on the first piece of information we get, or in-group bias, that us versus them mentality. It can lower our vigilance towards people outside our group.
Right.
Confirmation bias, where we favor info that confirms what we already believe. Negativity bias, over-focusing on bad news, which can create exploitable fear.
Okay, I see how those could make you vulnerable.
And perhaps most dangerously for ambush, there's normalcy bias.
Normalcy bias.
It's this powerful tendency to believe that things will continue as normal, that nothing really bad will happen. It leads to a serious lack of preparedness.
You just don't expect the attack.
Exactly. And the emotional impact on the person who is ambushed is profound. often traumatic.
I can imagine.
It floods the target with negative emotions, nervousness, those elevated cortisol levels we mentioned.
Yeah, the stress hormone.
And it diminishes long-term well-being. Unexpected, uncontrollable events like ambushes, they can result in severe psychological trauma, PTSD, chronic depression, anxiety disorders.
That's heavy. And what about the ambusher's mindset?
From the ambusher's side, the psychology involves a deliberate objective.
Oh.
To induce specific mental states in the target.
Like fear.
Fear, disorder, and apprehensive mindset by, as the study puts it, striking the enemy when he feels secure.
Right, when they let their guard down.
Precisely. And this creates this intricate feedback loop. The ambusher's self-deception makes their deceptive signals seem more authentic, while the target's cognitive biases, like that normalcy bias, increase their vulnerability to those very signals. It's a psychological trap.
So our own minds are kind of working against us, creating these vulnerabilities.
Right.
What hope do we have? Which brings us back to AI, I guess. In this whole arena of human ambush, is AI going to be a weapon or is it a shield? What can it actually do in analyzing these dynamics?
Well, AI is rapidly transforming how we approach conflict prevention and management. It's quite remarkable.
How so?
It can process just vast data sets, satellite imagery, social media chatter, historical trends, feeding into early warning systems.
So predicting trouble spots.
Helping predict political instability, yeah. Supporting proactive strategies. And at peacekeeping operations, AI-equipped drones can enhance surveillance, logistics.
Right.
Natural language processing tools can even assist diplomatic mediation. Analyzing negotiation patterns, maybe advising negotiators.
Wow, analyzing talks.
Yeah, or simulating conflict resolution scenarios.
Yeah.
Beyond overt conflict, AI is invaluable in behavioral analysis, crime prevention. Okay. Identifying hidden patterns to predict crime hotspots, analyzing network traffic for cybercrime, detecting financial fraud.
So it's pattern recognition on a massive scale.
That's its core strength. Processing immense complex data for patterns at speeds impossible for humans.
But are there downsides, limitations?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It often struggles to account for, the irrational decisions humans make. We're not always logical actors.
True enough.
And there are significant ethical concerns. Biases baked into the data AI is trained on. That can lead to unfair or discriminatory outcomes if we're not incredibly careful.
Right, the bias problem, that's huge. But what about this dual-use nature you mentioned? Can AI be used for deception just as effectively?
Absolutely. That's a major concern. AI significantly amplifies the ability of threat actors to conduct advanced social engineering.
Making scams better.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
It makes it easier to mine data for highly personalized campaigns, facilitates large-scale targeted phishing operations.
Oh.
And then you have deepfakes and voice cloning,
Yep.
generating remarkably realistic video and audio for incredibly effective impersonation.
Scary stuff, like CEO fraud, but supercharged.
Exactly. AI can even mimic a specific person's writing style for convincing fraudulent emails. It dramatically amplifies that critical element of surprise and concealed intent.
So the attack becomes much harder to spot.
Much harder. Fortunately, though, as offensive AI evolves, so do the AI-based counter-deception controls.
The defense catches up.
It's trying to. We're seeing techniques like behavioral analysis, anomaly detection to spot these AI-enhanced malicious activities. Natural language processing is getting better at distinguishing genuine emails from fraudulent ones. Authentication processes are being bolstered against deepfakes.
Good.
But it's not just tech, right? Non-tech measures are just as crucial. Employee education, training simulations, clear policies for reporting suspected social engineering.
The human factor is still key.
Absolutely. And the integration of AI also introduces risks of, AI-driven manipulation, systems exploiting our cognitive biases, our emotional vulnerabilities to steer users towards harmful outcomes. Yeah, it raises serious questions about human autonomy.
So AI is definitely a powerful dual-use tool.
No question. It necessitates this continuous arms race, really. Defensive AI has to evolve just as rapidly as offensive AI.
And that requires
careful ethical consideration, robust regulatory frameworks to ensure responsible development and deployment. It's a huge challenge.
Fascinating. Okay, let's zoom out now to society as a whole. We have all these intricate rules, cultural norms. They're supposed to guide how we interact, right? Keep order. What's the science behind these rules? Where do they come from?
That's a great question. Rules are truly the invisible threads weaving the fabric of society. They promote order, fairness, harmony.
The social contract, kind of?
In a way, yeah. They establish predictability, act as the glue binding individuals together. But paradoxically, They also provide the framework for freedom, letting individuals exercise rights within agreed-upon limits.
Okay.
And the impulse to create rules, it seems deeply ingrained. Our ability to make laws is thought to have evolved through natural selection, much like our ability to make tools.
Laws evolved like tools.
That's one theory. They arise from moral judgments, which likely help early humans choose sides in conflicts, resolve disputes based on shared principles.
So morality came first.
Or co-evolved. Whether you see rules as inherent universal moral principles, natural law, discoverable through reason, or simply as human-made agreements, positive law, they connect deeply to our biology and social evolution. They promote cooperation, cohesion in complex social groups.
Even in other primates.
You see precursors, yeah. Traits like empathy, reciprocity, fairness in primates reveal these evolutionary roots. As human communities grew larger, more complex, greater enforcement mechanisms became necessary. Shared morality, social pressure, even religion played a role in reinforcing rules for group cohesion and survival.
Okay, so if these rules are so fundamental, so evolved for our benefit, why do humans break them so often?
Oh, yeah.
And why, in extreme cases, do we even try to, eliminate other cultures entirely? That seems counter to survival.
Well, the psychology of rule breaking is complex. Sometimes it's group dynamics, peer pressure overriding an individual's compass.
Mom mentality.
Sort of. Sometimes rules are just perceived as irrelevant, maybe outdated, or too general for a specific situation. Yeah. And challenging rules set by those in power. That can be an act of self-autonomy. It can even foster progress sometimes.
Okay, fair enough. But eliminating cultures?
That's darker territory. We also see significant cultural variations in aggression. Some societies just have much higher rates of violence.
Like the culture of honor.
Exactly. In certain regions, that culture condones, even demands, aggressive responses to perceived threats to social status, especially for men. Minor disputes can escalate tragically.
Right.
And a fundamental sociological concept here is in-group, out-group dynamics.
Yeah.
That basic us versus them thinking.
Tribalism.
Pretty much. It fosters loyalty within the in-group, which can be good, but it also generates misunderstandings, stereotypes, deep mistrust towards out-group members. In-group bias makes it worse.
We favor our own.
Naturally. And in its most extreme form, this desire to eliminate others is rooted in dehumanization.
Dehumanization. That sounds bad.
It is. It's a psychological process where individuals or entire groups are stripped of their humanity, perceived as less than human, animalistic, mechanistic, sometimes through cultural stereotypes.
Making it easier to harm them.
Tragically, yes. It's a common precursor to extreme violence, including genocide. Some theories, like aggressionism theory, even argue that human aggression, fueled by fanatic belief in an ideology, is the sole cause of war, citing figures like Hitler or Stalin. So it highlights how these inherent drives, self-preservation, group cohesion, when combined with cognitive biases and especially dehumanization, can rationalize horrific aggression. It underscores the critical need for social and cultural tolerance.
Definitely. So given all this complexity, the biology, the history, the psychology, the societal rules, what are the ethical and moral angles here, especially around ambush and conflict?
This brings us to frameworks like just war theory. It's evolved over centuries, trying to establish criteria for when military action might be morally justified.
What kind of criteria?
Things like having a just cause, the right intention, ensuring proportionality, the harm caused, shouldn't outweigh the good achieved.
Okay.
Thinkers like Thomas Aquinas contributed early on. Modern international law, through the Geneva and Hague Conventions, builds on this, emphasizing principles like distinction.
Meaning?
Distinguishing between military targets and civilians. And necessity is the military action truly required. There's also the concept of the responsibility to protect, or R2P. The idea that the international community has a responsibility to intervene to protect populations from mass atrocities like genocide or war crimes if their own state fails to.
I see. But it must get murky.
Oh, incredibly murky. Moral ambiguity often arises, especially in the heat of battle. You have concepts like the principle of double effect.
Double effect.
Where a morally good act, like targeting a military installation, might have a foreseen but unintended negative consequence, like civilian casualties nearby. It's ethically fraught.
Yeah. What about things like human shields?
Exactly. That poses huge challenges. Or determining proportionality in asymmetric warfare, where sides have vastly different capabilities.
Dirty stuff.
Very. And international humanitarian law makes a crucial distinction between ruses of war and perfidy.
Ruses versus perfidy.
Ruses are generally permissible ways to mislead the enemy. Think camouflage, misinformation, decoys.
Okay, standard tactics.
Right. But perfidy is deception that abuses protections or good faith, like feigning surrender to launch an attack or pretending to be a civilian or medic to gain advantage.
That's crossing a line.
It's considered a war crime because it betrays confidence, degrades the mutual restraints needed even in war. The Kilmichael ambush during the Irish War of Independence is a contentious historical example often discussed in this context.
Okay.
And we can't forget the mental health impact of all this conflict and ambush. It's significant.
We touched on PTSD earlier.
Yes. Increased violence, PTSD, depression, anxiety, relationship deterioration, especially resulting from those unexpected, uncontrollable events. And philosophically, the morality of violence itself is constantly debated.
Pacifism versus.
Right. Pacifism sees violence as always immoral. Utilitarianism might justify it if it achieves a greater good. Martin Luther King Jr. powerfully argued nonviolence, viewing violence as both a moral failing and a practical misjudgment.
But others argue for self-defense.
Exactly. Arguments for ethical violence in cases of self-defense or defense of others exist too. So the analysis really shows ambush isn't just tactical. It's a moral act with profound consequences, demanding constant ethical scrutiny and a persistent search for nonviolent alternatives.
This has been an incredibly deep and, quite nuanced discussion. So bringing it all together now, how can AI, given this whole complex landscape we've mapped out, actually contribute to human flourishing? What's the positive path forward here?
The potential is really immense, I think, if we steer it right. Let's think about a healthy, educated, and, well, good child.
Okay. How can AI help there?
AI offers truly personalized learning, adapting educational content in real time to a child's specific skill level, their pace. Using interactive apps, customized stories, it could really help bridge educational inequality.
Tailored education.
Exactly. And for health, AI-powered symptom checkers, yes, but also early detection systems using machine learning. Analyzing parent or clinician data to spot developmental delays like autism much earlier. Companies like Cognoa are doing this.
Earlier intervention is key.
Crucial. Smart wearables can even monitor behavior, mood patterns, alerting parents or doctors to potential issues. And then there's emotional intelligence, conflict resolution education.
Teaching kids to handle conflict with AI.
It can support it. AI can provide teachers with prompt libraries, role-playing scenarios, help children learn to recognize and manage their emotions, build positive relationships. Understand that disagreement isn't disaster, it's an opportunity for growth. There's even research into biologically inspired cognitive architectures, ABISHA, to help AI understand human emotions better.
Interesting. Okay, what about broader society? Governance, resources?
Big potential there, too. In conflict prevention, we mentioned early warning systems using AI to analyze social media, news, satellite data.
Right.
Can optimize peacekeeping logistics and surveillance. Aid diplomatic mediation with unbiased analysis, maybe even propose solutions. Combat misinformation online.
Optimize
post-conflict recovery efforts.
And resources, inequality.
Predictive analytics can help ensure aid is directed more effectively where it's most needed. AI can help with equitable job matching. Some even propose concepts like universal basic income or an automated transactional tax, potentially managed or analyzed by AI systems, to mitigate economic disparities fueled by automation.
Big ideas.
They are. In law enforcement, AI can use predictive analytics for crime hotspots, analyze digital behavior, detect complex financial or cybercrime.
Okay.
And crucially, AI can enhance principles of good governance. Foster transparency, accountability, inclusive decision-making. Uphold the rule of law. Respect human rights.
How? By ensuring fairness.
By helping ensure systems are lawful, fair, minimize harm, and respect human autonomy. It could help us address some of the root causes of conflict, like poverty and systemic injustice, in a more data-driven way.
So it's a tool for better systems.
Exactly. Our study introduces a conceptual schematic to try and visualize all this interconnected impact.
A schematic, like a diagram.
Yeah, think of it as a multi-layered feedback system.
Yeah.
It starts with human inputs and context, all those biological, psychological, societal, environmental factors we discussed.
Okay, the raw ingredients.
Then it moves to AI analysis and modeling. This is where AI ingests vast, diverse data and uses powerful tools, predictive analytics, natural language processing, computer vision, game theory, causal inference.
All the AI techniques.
Right. And this leads to AI outputs and interventions. Things like the early warnings, the personalized development plans, conflict resolution tools, resource optimization, governance enhancement, counter-deception measures, even ways to evaluate our societal rules.
When it learns.
That's the critical part. A continuous feedback loop. AI learns and adapts based on the outcomes, making the whole system potentially more effective over time.
So the point isn't AI taking over?
Not at all. The role is to augment human decision-making, provide comprehensive data-driven insights into these incredibly complex human systems, hopefully leading towards a more prosperous and balanced future.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean, really? We've journeyed from, ancient ambushes literally etched in bone to the complexities of modern AI. It reveals how deeply ingrained this concept of strategic surprise is in us. It's a powerful, often destructive evolutionary strategy, yet it's also something we can understand and maybe, with the right tools, mitigate.
Indeed. The synthesis, the bringing together of all these findings, shows human ambush is truly multifaceted, deeply rooted in our evolutionary history, driven by basic survival instincts, intricately linked to deception and those cognitive biases we talked about.
Right.
And AI presents this dual capacity. It's a potentially transformative tool for understanding and mitigating conflict, but it's also a potential amplifier of our deceptive capabilities.
A double-edged sword.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And our societies, built on rules and norms, are constantly grappling with these internal forces that lead us to break rules or even dehumanize others.
This whole deep dive, it really reveals this incredible tension, doesn't it? Our innate capacity for aggression versus our societal need for peace and justice.
Exactly.
But the exciting part is the path forward you laid out, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Our recommendations really focus on ethical AI integration for human flourishing.
Which includes
prioritizing ethical frameworks, making sure AI is fair, safe, accountable, investing in that dual-use AI research, both offense and defense, fostering AI that can handle complex, multi-layered data, that multimodal understanding, and actively working to mitigate bias in AI systems.
And for society itself, beyond the tech.
For societal resilience, we absolutely must promote conflict resolution education, starting early, cultivate inclusive governance structures, actively combat dehumanization and that in-group bias, and leverage AI for personalized flourishing, adaptive learning, preventative health.
Right.
And it also means recognizing that our societal rules aren't set in stone. AI could help us continuously evaluate and adapt them based on data and principles of fairness and progress.
So ultimately, this isn't about AI replacing human smarts, is it?
Not at all.
It's about augmenting our collective capacity for understanding, for action, creating a kind of symbiotic relationship where AI, guided carefully by human values and ethical oversight, helps us navigate the inherent complexities of our own nature. Imagine a future where maybe every child really can thrive, supported by intelligent systems that minimize conflict and promote fair resource distribution.
It's a powerful vision, and it raises, I think, an important final question for you, the listener, to consider.
Okay.
If our most ancient survival instincts, like that fight, flight, freeze response, are now often maladaptive, they don't fit many modern situations, how can we intentionally design our future environments, our workplaces, our digital spaces? How can we design them to consciously redirect these powerful evolutionary drives away from conflict and towards cooperation, towards collective well-being? And how can we leverage AI thoughtfully as a wise guide in that process?
This is DigitView.